Cool. Oh, someone watched my cross video. Sweet. What the fuck? Everybody watched my cross video! What is crossed? Or, more appropriately, what the fuck is crossed? Is a question I've been getting asked a lot recently, and that's what I'm here to let you guys know. But just so you know, if my language in this opening segment has offended you, then you might want to go ahead and bounce now, because nothing that comes out of my fucking mouth for the rest of this video is going to make you happy. For those of you who want to hang, greetings, children of the screen, your friendly neighborhood nerd scum here, and this is the Crossed franchise. Crossed is a multi-title comic franchise published by Avatar Press, created by Garth Ennis and Jansen Burrows, beginning with Crossed number 0 on August 27, 2008. The Crossed franchise follows survivors of a pandemic that causes its infected victims to act out their most horrific impulses. This contagion is primarily spread through direct fluid contact, such as bites, vomit, or rape, provided the victim lives the short time it takes for the virus to incubate. Due to the virus manifesting as a cross or plus-shaped rash on the face of the infected, they are generally referred to as crossed, crossed faces, or plus faces. The infected's behavior becomes rabid, however, they retain their basic intelligence, making them capable of using complex tools such as firearms or vehicles, as well as acting strategically. This makes the crossed unpredictably deadly, and enabled them as well as the contagion to spread, maiming, killing, raping, and cannibalizing across the entire world. Defenses, cities, and civilizations fell in short order. There is no cure. There is no hope. No heroes. No one's coming to save you. Only the Crossed. The original Cross series by Ennis and Burrows follows a small group of survivors 10 months after the outbreak who make their way towards Alaska in hopes that its low population will mean fewer Crossed to fear. However, they encounter and become stalked by a nomadic gang of Crossed who have learned to temper their bloodlust in order to savor the prolonged suffering of their victims. This story is intercut with flashbacks to the events on and directly following Zero Day, giving us insight into the cast of survivors and the events that shaped their twisted new world. After this story arc, Ennis stepped away from the franchise, feeling he didn't have another worthwhile Cross story at the time, but seeing the potential of the world that he had created, he gave his blessing for it to be expanded by other creative teams. The original volume was followed by Crossed Family Values by David Lampton and Javier Barrino. In Family Values, the story centers on Adeline, a member of the religious Pratt family of North Carolina, who survive in their isolated horse ranch mountain compound. Led by their family patriarch Joe, they rely on each other to see them through the apocalypse and fight off the constant horde of Crossed. But the Pratt family has a secret, one that threatens to tear them apart. Some men are turned cross, but others are just born evil. Next was Cross 3D by Lapham, Christensen, and Pagliari, which sees one of the last surviving human doctors trapped in a New York skyscraper, and SWAT veteran Lieutenant McAvoy assembles a ragtag group of handymen and embarks on a rescue mission of madness into the middle of an infected New York City swarming with millions of Crossed. Then, in Cross Psychopath by Lapham and Crossers, the story follows a group of survivors who pick up an injured man who understands the way that the infected think and is tracking a specific group of Crossed. Little does this group of survivors know that this man Lore is a psychopath, passing off his continuing crimes as the brutal acts of the Crossed, and they just became pieces in his deranged game. Crossed Badlands, which consists of volumes 4 through 17, is written and drawn by rotating creative teams featuring shorter story arcs and is far too vast for me to do any kind of justice within the framework of this video. But these volumes are still very much in keeping with the tone, style, and tropes employed in the previous volumes. This, combined with the returning creators from previous story arcs, including Garth Ennis, makes it definitely well worth a closer look in the future. Crossed Wish You Were Here is a webcomic which ran from 2012 to 2014 by Spurrier, Barrino, and Melick. On the island of Cava, off the coast of Scotland, a former writer, Shakespeare, or Shaky, chronicles in his journal the plight of he and a handful of other survivors trying to keep some semblance of society while desperately trying to keep the wandering Crossed at bay. Then came Crossed Plus 100 by Alan Moore and Gabriel Andretti for the first 6 issues, followed by Spurrier, Ortiz, and Hines for the duration of the series. The series follows archivist Taylor, who leads a team working to rebuild the historical record of the original Crossed outbreak. It's been 100 years. She's seen them in videos, but never live ones. The Crossed are part of the distant past, but that soon changes after she and her team run across a herd of Crossed and find that the infected have begun multiplying once again. They've begun evolving, learning how to keep their society persisting, and once again, they are becoming a threat to mankind. And then we have Crossed Plus 100 Mimic, a 6-issue series by Christos Gage and Emilio Oldanana, set in the world of Moore's Plus 100. It follows archivist Julie and Flesh Cook, one of the new kind of Crossed, as they attempt to forge an alliance between infected and uninfected. Included with the main title was a backup, Crossed Plus 100 American History X, a series of standalone stories set at various points in the decades between Crossed and Crossed Plus 100. And also, guys, I wanted to take a quick moment here to apologize for my pronunciation on some of these names, not just for Crossed Plus 100 Mimic, but throughout the entire duration of this video. Right on, guys, so that is the Crossed franchise, briefly. So yeah, as you guys saw at the beginning of the video, one of my older videos on Crossed just recently blew up for some reason, and in the wake of that, I had a lot of people who were just kind of asking me, like, what is this series? Like, I see so many different versions of it, and that's absolutely true. As you've just seen, Crossed very quickly has become a very expansive franchise that has multiple titles and multiple story arcs, and is just crazy and awesome and all over the place. And while I'm definitely going to be doing more straight-up reviews of the books themselves, I felt that before I jumped into that, it would be good to at least give a brief primer for the people who watch the channel who are interested to see what it is, but kind of need some context for it. So yeah, for the next one that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be diving into the first volume of Crossed Plus 100, the volume by Alan Moore, which was my introduction to the franchise of Crossed. And is still, to this day, one of my favorite installments of it, especially, like, that first volume. After that, I'm going to make sure and get around to some other Crossed videos, and see if the trend keeps up. If these videos keep doing pretty good, then I will keep doing them. You know, but if it's kind of a fluke, and it was that one video, then, like, I'll do as many of them as I can, but as you guys who've been watching the channel know, my filmmaking stuff has really been kicking off, and that's been keeping me really, really busy, which is why this video didn't come out sooner. So while I'm saying that, definitely go and check out my playlist for the Vice Mayor's production, which is the feature film that we just shot that I wrote and co-starred in. Basically on that, you'll see some script read-throughs from our original script. You'll also see, like, little segments talking about the cast and crew, as well as production diaries for individual days. So anyway, guys, thank you very, very much. Also, if you haven't seen that previous Cross video that brought so many people in, I'm going to leave a tag for it up here. So, again, thank you guys very much for watching. If you're one of the folks who watched the other one, thank you for lighting a fire under my ass, because this is a great series that deserves to be talked about more. And it just didn't really seem like there was an audience for it, which is the only reason why I hadn't really done more of these up until now. But I am very much looking, like, forward to, and I'm very much excited to dive back into the universe of Cross and share it with you guys. So, right on, guys. Have a good one, children of the screen. I will see you next time. Nerd scum.